All right, so this is devlog number 2 of building Tembo, but we're going to cover some additional stuff. As I said, I'm going to try to keep my AI insights in the world on this channel, as well as sort of the updates that I'm doing for building my app. So for those of you guys who don't know, I'm building a SaaS app for the legal tech space. And it's in progress, but yeah, like I said, we're moving very, very fast. That's thanks to AI. And yeah, obviously it's like scary stuff. It's good for some people, bad for probably more than it's good for. So I wanted to start off with talking about some doom and gloom content because that's kind of what's popping on YouTube for some reason. Well, it's not really some reason, it's pretty clear why. I think there's a lot of stuff going on in the world, and yeah, a lot of people have this like overarching sense of the world is ending. Um, which is not entirely true, but definitely I wouldn't say the world is heading in a great direction. So anyway, I wanted to provide my insights onto the types of jobs I think are going to be eliminated and the future jobs that I can see persisting. Unfortunately, like I think one of the big issues I have with the list that I made is a lot of the jobs that exist. I just don't think that they're very like helpful for humanity. It's kind of people just ripping each other off at the end of the day. Um, so I'll start off with some jobs I think are going to be eliminated, and a few of these like are already pretty much for the most part eliminated. I think we already saw a lot of translation jobs get lost over the past 2 years or maybe three now. I think it's 2026. So I think starting like 2023, that's kind of when ChatGPT started booming, and there was a lot of work in the NLP, natural language processing space, specifically that was like trained on different languages, and it tried to basically just build like logic and reasoning off of different languages. And I think one of the big benchmarks for that was the Blue Score BLEU. And yeah, I think we kind of just have maxed that out recently. I haven't looked into it too much, but at least when I was in school, I think we kind of reached the maximum threshold for like how much we were going to get out of translation work. So obviously, there's not much more need for people to be like manual translators anymore. I think a lot of this stuff is going to be digital. Um, so yeah, I think we've already seen a lot of those jobs go away. Copywriting's obviously going away. And then I used to be a software engineer. I can 100%, like I said, I'm building this SaaS app and just building it. I can 100% see software engineering going away. It's going to transition into more of like a managerial role, in my opinion. People are going to have to do a lot more like of the like weird kind of laborious work, like building CI/CD pipelines, which I don't know. Maybe eventually that could also be. Yeah, I'm sure it will actually be automated at some point. Probably, like I said in the last video, probably by like 2027. Um, the question is just like how much power are people going to be willing to give these AI models? Because uh, currently, like people use these things called MCP. I think it's Model Context Protocol. But basically, it just allows the like the whatever AI model you're using to interact with different services. So you can use like any of their APIs, which is basically just like the tools that a specific website has set up. So they can call on different services from different websites, and then they can basically interact with whatever service. So you can interact with like Gmail, you can interact with like Twilio, you can interact with uh, I don't know, Instagram, I guess would be a common one that people use. And so, yeah, this is already a thing. MCP is pretty strong. I think one of the main concerns is, just recently there was like this news about Claude bot, CLAWD bot, and it was like this supposed to be this AI agent that could do everything for you. And I think recently, like unsurprisingly, if you're in the tech space, it got hacked or like compromised or whatever, and people I think lost a lot of sensitive data. I didn't really look into it too much, but like in my opinion, that was a very expected result. If you give a AI model too much power, it can it just opens it up to vulnerabilities. So I'm not actually sure what happened with that. I didn't look into it, but I can see more of that happening in the future. So it kind of warrants you to think that maybe cybersecurity will pop off in the future, but I think a lot of the stuff that required like heavy lifting as far as cybersecurity in the past is probably pretty much gone now because, like I said, AI can automate like testing. It can like verify that stuff is secure. And that's kind of what I'm using for my app. Like I just basically had Claude build out a entire like testing suite, and I just have it basically like verifying that my app is secure. And it didn't take like too long, so I can see that that's kind of the future of what people are going to be doing. And so, like I said, I wouldn't say that that job sector is necessarily secure either. I would say researchers are probably going away for the most part. I said like 60 to 70% of researchers. There's some people you're still going to need in the space. But yeah, like AI does quite a bit of research. And as far as I know, uh, at least when I was in school, people were using AI to create papers. And like, if you've ever been in academia, it's kind of all just like a lot of it. It's a lot of BS. I wouldn't say it's all. It's not. It's definitely not all BS, but it's a lot of BS. And people are trying to basically just game the system and get their name on published papers or publish their own papers, and they don't necessarily care if it's slop. So there's been a lot of like AI paper slop recently, and quite frankly, it does actually make quite good articles. So I can see a lot of like the maybe like the people who aren't at the top of their field going away in that sense. But a lot of researchers are funded by like the government, so I guess as long as there's money coming from somewhere, they could still exist in some sense. They might just have to keep playing the BS games. And so this brings me to the unfortunate part. I don't like this part about the future. I think the future jobs are actually going to be mostly just being an entertainer, and that's going to be people who are like on YouTube, people who are streaming, people who are doing like other stuff like Instagram influencers, just like influencers of any sort. And I don't think these people really provide value to anybody. Like, I don't know. Hopefully, I'm providing at least a little bit of value, but I don't think I'm actually providing that much value to you guys. I'm just kind of sitting here yapping. But I think, if you go on YouTube, I think if you look at like 90% plus of the content, it's not actually informational content. It's mostly just like random slop. And for the most part, like people have been doing this for decades. Like people used to just like, before doom scrolling, people would just watch Netflix and like binge Netflix. Um, but I would just say it's getting worse. So yeah, I'm not too happy about it, but there's never going to be a lack of need for entertainment. So I think entertainment will persist. You'll always be able to sell products that help people with their insecurities. So that's going to be like supplements, like makeup, for example, cosmetic stuff. It could be like dental work, plastic surgery will probably always be around. And then people are going to keep selling courses as much as everybody hates that. Uh, Even though like most information is pretty much free, there's always going to be vulnerable people out there who are just like willing to pay for courses. And yeah, like trades are going to exist. So it's they're trying to replace it with robotics. I just think it's going to take a bit longer than uh, we need to worry about. Like if you're watching this video, I think it's probably going to be like 10-ish years maybe before they start automating a lot of like the mechanical work, and that'd be like for auto manufacturing. Um, and then care work will probably persist. That's kind of almost in the same uh, sphere as entertainment, I guess. Uh, in a weird sense, in that like it's not like, I guess a weird way to put it is not like increasing the GDP of anything. You're kind of just like taking care of people. You're just making them feel better. And like I get that there's disabled people, but I think like a big portion of that will also be replaced by robotics if it actually comes to it. So yeah, anyway, sorry for that rant, but I might be turning this channel into, like Insights AI, I have no idea, type channel. But yeah, so today I think I'm gonna be working on so yesterday I also got the like website set up, so it's tembo.legal if you guys are interested, if you want to check it out, want to like play around a little bit with the MVP. It's not gonna sign you up for anything. But yeah, just getting the site up and working. I think I'm gonna probably refactor the front end, or do like most of that today, and then I might try to do Stripe integration. So that's gonna be like handling payments for when we're ready to launch. I think I need to start marketing this thing like pretty soon. So we're looking, you can't talk. We're looking at like probably less than a week, I think, before I need to start putting this out on like social media and everything. But yeah, anyway, I think we've moved like pretty fast. So I don't have like a super clear line of sight on what I need to work on now because we kind of have most of the MVP done. But yeah, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video and peace. Make sure you like and subscribe and take care, guys.